Title: The Painting in the Attic. In a small coastal town in Maine, nestled between fog-laced cliffs and rows of forgotten Victorian homes, there stood an aging house known to locals as the Caraway Place. Most walked past it without looking up, as if eye contact with the old structure would invite something unwelcome. For decades, no one lived there. No lights, no visitors, just the quiet creak of wood shifting in the salt air. But in 2017, the silence was broken. Eleanor, a 29-year-old artist from Boston, inherited the house after her great-aunt Margaret passed away. The will was clear. To Eleanor goes the house, with all its contents. Burn nothing. It seemed like a strange request, but Eleanor thought little of it. She needed space, solitude, and maybe some ghosts of the past to inspire her next exhibit. The first few weeks were peaceful. The house smelled of dust and old paper. Its creaky floors and stained wallpaper gave it a haunting charm. But Eleanor couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, especially at night. Doors would creak open just a little too slowly. Cold drafts would lick her neck despite closed windows, and once, she found a teacup placed on her nightstand that she had never touched. One afternoon, while exploring the attic, she found a large canvas hidden beneath a moth-eaten tarp. It was a painting of a young woman in a deep green dress, standing in front of the very house she now owned. Her face was pale, lips blood red, and her eyes, those eyes, were unnerving. They seemed alive. Eleanor felt an overwhelming urge to stare back, as if the painting demanded recognition. She brought it downstairs and hung it in her studio, hoping to study the brushwork. That night, she woke to the sound of footsteps pacing above her. The attic, she thought. Maybe just the house settling. But then came the knock, 3 slow knocks on her bedroom door. When she opened it, no one was there, just a faint scent of jasmine, like old perfume. Over the next few nights, the painting began to change. Subtle at first. A shift in the position of the woman's hand, the background darkening, as though clouds had formed behind her. Then one morning, Eleanor noticed something that made her chest tighten. The eyes were looking to the side, not forward, staring at her bed from the wall. Terrified but drawn in, Eleanor researched the house's history. She discovered that her great-aunt Margaret had a sister, Lillian, who had disappeared in the 1920s. According to police records, Lillian had painted obsessively for weeks before vanishing, leaving behind only one completed portrait of herself in front of the house. That same painting now hung in Eleanor's studio. Eleanor tried to get rid of it. She took it down, stuffed it in the attic, even drove it to the edge of town and left it at a junk shop. But the next morning it was back on her wall, hung perfectly straight. And each time it returned, her skin warmer, her smile wider, her hands twitching. Eleanor began hearing whispers in the walls, her name sometimes, other times just humming, a lullaby she vaguely remembered from childhood. The nights stretched longer, her clocks stopped working, mirrors in the house began to fog without reason, and sometimes her reflection was not alone. One night, Eleanor had enough. She grabbed the painting, drove deep into the woods, and set it on fire. The flames devoured the canvas quickly. But just before it turned to ash, Eleanor swore she saw the woman in the painting smile and blink. The fire roared unnaturally high for a moment, then fell to smoke. Relieved, Eleanor returned home. Everything was quiet. For the first time in weeks, she slept through the night. Until the following morning. There, on the studio wall, was the painting. But it was no longer of the woman. It was Eleanor, standing in front of the house, eyes wide and pleading. And in the background, in the attic window, the woman in green was watching her, smiling.